A baseball season that started on the still frigid side of April has now progressed 136 games through the heart of the summer and into September. The final month of the campaign begins on Labor Day, and the rival Braves are across the diamond here in Atlanta, battling for a berth to October. Well, the calendars flip to the month of September, but it certainly feels like summertime. The temperatures will be close to 90 degrees here in Atlanta. That's okay for Cole Hamels. He likes pitching against the Braves here at Turner Field. He'll be the starter for the Phils. Little day baseball and a great giveaway as the fans came through the gates here this afternoon. They received the Bobby Cox bobblehead. It's game one of a three-game series. Now, the Phillies have had some success down here at Turner Field against the Braves this year. They're 4-2 against the Braves here in Atlanta. They've won only one game up at Citizens Bank Park. The bullpen earned run average has been very good. The Phillies have actually hit better than Atlanta during the 6 games so far at Turner Field. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. Happy Labor Day. We hope you're enjoying your Labor Day wherever it is you're watching Phillies baseball, and we'll get a chance to watch a great pitching matchup today. Cole Hamels against Julio Teheran. Let's talk about these two guys, Matt, and let's begin with Cole Hamels.
Well, Cole's last 3 outings, he hasn't been that perfect guy right now. His pinpoint accuracy is off a little bit. He's up in the zone. He's having a hard time throwing the fastball for strikes. The last time in Atlanta was unbelievable. His first 26 pitches of the game were fastballs, probably about 24 of them but for strikes. The thing about that game, he was just keeping these guys off balance, threw about 15 off-speed pitches the whole game. And when they're looking for the curveball, they're getting a high fastball. When they're looking for the fastball, he's throwing that curveball down in the dirt. And oh, by the way, he has a tremendous pickoff move as well.
A great pickoff move, and also a two-seamer that's been very effective for him, combining with that changeup. Now, the numbers for Cole Hamels here in Atlanta for 2014 against the Braves: 9 hits in 14 innings and 15 strikeouts.
They have a tremendous scouting report on these guys, and he's been changing it up. You know, early in his career, he threw a lot of changeups. Now, all of a sudden, he's throwing a lot of fastballs, mixing that curveball. That's why you're getting the guys taking the real big swings at the curveballs. They're way out in front because they think it's the changeup or the fastball. So what he's doing, he's changing speeds and he's changing his routine up.
All right, the Atlanta Braves are an interesting ball club. They're battling for the wild card in the National League. You look at the numbers month to month for the Atlanta Braves. Great start, but since that time, Matt, they've been essentially a 500 team.
Well, and they have. In March and April, they played extremely well. Their ERA was a lot lower. They were getting timing hitting. They were getting some walk-offs. But really, since May through August, 500 team, like you said, they're just not getting that big hit. They're relying on going out and hoping to win a series once in a while. But, you know, really, it all starts with Julio Teheran. He's a tremendous arm. He has a great fastball, very good curveball and slider. The thing about him, he's a very good athlete on the mound. When he's going well, his slider is a real late break, and he can throw that curveball whenever he wants. He elevates the fastball very well. Our guys have a hard time squaring up his pitches because they're really thinking the opposite. If they're sitting fastball, it's the same way as Hamels. You're getting the changeup with the slider. And the key for him is he can throw the slider whenever he needs to.
Just 23 years old. Here are his numbers against the Phillies this season. He has not walked a Philly hitter so far in 2014, and just 13 hits in 24 innings of work. So it's game one of a 3-game series. A great way to start your Labor Day. You got a great pitching matchup. Cole Hamels, his 25th start, and Julio Teheran, his 29th start of the season for the Atlanta Braves. Well, yesterday, Dom Brown, a career-high 4 hits, including an opposite-field home run. And then Ryan Howard picked up 3 RBIs along the way to help the Phils' cause. Lineups at first pitch after we go to the Comcast Sportsnet studios. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens. A nice crowd settling in for game one of a three-game series. 2 day games between the Phils and the Braves. Wednesdays is an afternoon ball game as well. Night game tomorrow. Hot afternoon here in Atlanta. Means the ball could be flying out, but we've got 2 pitchers that try to keep the ball down and are pretty difficult to hit in Julio Teheran and Cole Hamels. We take a look at the National League East standings. The Braves are 6 games behind the Nationals. The Phillies 15.5 games out. The Braves, though, are only a game and a half out of the wild card. And although they still, in their minds, feel like they could win the division, I guess every team would have to have those feelings. They realize that they are still within reach in the wild card, along with the Pirates, and then, of course, the Marlins are 6.5 games back in the wild card. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Ben Revere leads it off in center, then Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. Ryan Howard is the cleanup hitter, followed by Marlon Byrd and Dominic Brown. The bottom third of the order, it's the normal bottom third. Carlos Ruiz, Cody Asche, and the pitcher's spot today, Cole Hamels will be doing the pitching. He'll bat ninth. They'll face 23-year-old right-hander. He's only 23, Julio Teheran. 13 wins this season, 1 shy of his win total from a year ago. But 189 innings, Matt, that's third most in the National League. So while the Braves have had trouble with their rotation staying healthy, he has been very durable.
Well, and he's been very consistent, especially his last few outings. Before that, he was up in the zone a little bit. But he's a guy that just relies on throwing strikes, and you can throw every pitch when he needs to for a strike, especially that slider. Now, as you can see, the scouting report, 89 to 93 mile an hour fastball, slider curve change, 3-2 with a 2.95 ERA versus the Phillies. But it's a slider that makes it very hard to square up on when he throws those pitches, because he knows how to backdoor it. He'll throw it down and in. He'll throw first strikes when he needs to.
We said 23 years old, out of Columbia. The Braves signed him as a free agent in 2007.
Well, Tom, my favorite day, time for the keys to the game. First one for me is to look for the ball up versus Teheran. He's a guy that wants to change it down the zone, the slider, the 2-seamer low, so get him elevated. And Hamels, establish your fastball early in the game. Especially last time we were here, first 24 pitches were fastballs, and he only threw, what, 22 or 23 off-speed pitches that day, so he needs to establish that fastball again. Well,
those are important, the Nissan keys to today's ball game, and for the Phils also to get a win after losing the series to the Mets this past weekend in New York. Well, Teheran's ready to go, so is Ben Revere. Revere was 3 for 14 in the series against the Mets. His average sits at 308. He's cooled off some. He's 7 for his last 34. He's ready to go. So is Teheran. Jordan Baker says, play ball, everybody. Yeah, the first pitch of the day. In there for a strike. We're underway. Revere this year against the Braves, you just saw those numbers at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. 350 against Atlanta. Overall, he's tied for 4th in the National League in hits with 152. And he's 3rd in hitting overall in the National League. Justin Morneau leads the way at 311. Josh Harrison, suddenly hot, is at 310, and Ben Revere at 308. Back toward the middle, fielded by Teheran. Matt said he was a good athlete. In fact, both these pitchers are excellent athletes, Teheran and Cole Hamels. So 1 out here in the first. And Jimmy Rollins will stroll to the plate.
You see that McCutcheon's starting to sneak up on everybody as well at 307.
Thinking the same thing. McCutcheon's in the conversation again for MVP in the National League, along with Giancarlo Stanton. Rollins 246, 17 home runs, 54 runs batted in. And he pulls that one down the right field line. That's going to drop for a base hit. Hayward cuts it off. Rollins speeding towards second, and he'll get there sliding. Ball got away from Andrelton Simmons. Jimmy with his 22nd double of the year. And just like that, he's in scoring position.
Well, we talked about one of the keys is to get the ball up in the zone, and Jimmy is looking fastball first pitch up in the zone, gets his arms extended and drives it down the right field corner. And you know, really he gets this double because of the initial swing. As soon as he made contact, he thought 2 the whole way.
And a good job by Hayward because if that ball had gone to the corner, there's a good chance that Rollins would have been at third, but he got over and cut it off before the track. So now Chase Utley. Utley is the best hitter with runners in scoring position for the Phillies. In fact, he's 15 for his last 36 with runners in scoring position. He takes a fastball down. It's 1-0. Utley had just 3 hits in the series against the Mets. All 3 hits were singles. So 3 for 13. Outside, 2-0. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Pat Kennedy of Sewell, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Pat will win $100. Utley's average at .278, 11 home runs, 69 runs batted in. An off-speed pitch that he loops foul behind the plate, and it's 2-1. Boy, there's going to be a lot of waving of the fans today here at the ballpark. It is a hot day in Atlanta. 88 degrees and rising. It was warm yesterday in New York, and immediately after the game, huge thunderstorms rolled through as Rollins dives back without a tag from Simmons. We'll be playing baseball in the 90s for the next 3 days down here in Atlanta. You're not in Canada anymore, Matt Stairs. Jordan Baker's behind the plate. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, is at first. Bob Davidson's at second. Chris Conroy is around at third. Breaking ball. 2-2. Jordan Baker is the tallest umpire in Major League Baseball history. He's behind the plate. You can see he's a big guy just by the way he's getting down behind the catcher. And then when he pops up to call that strike, he is 6 feet 7 inches. 1 inch taller than Tim McClellan. Just 32 years old. Two balls and 2 strikes to Chase Utley.
Baker's only about a foot taller than I am.
6'7". Look how big he is. Swing at this. Utley is struck out. 2 outs here in the first.
This is a curveball pretty much right down the middle, and Chase swings over top of it. And the last 14 or 15 at bats, I've noticed that his timing's been off a little bit. He's hitting off his front foot, which means that he's lunging a little too much and not staying back and recognizing the pitches.
Yeah, he'll get into those spurts from time to time. Well, here's Ryan Howard. Howard with 86 runs batted in. He is 4th in the National League in RBIs. The leader is Giancarlo Stanton. Got a chance to give the Phils the lead here. Outside, 1-0. Howard had 5 RBIs this weekend against the Mets. He had an excellent RBI month. And you see what he's done since the 30th of July with runners in scoring position. Ground ball, first base. That is a fair ball. And Freddie Freeman will toss to Tehran covering. Howard did not break out of the box all that quickly. So Rollins left at second. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Cole Hamels ready to go to work. Top of the first, but we're unable to score. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup. Brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Hayward, Bonifacio, and Freeman, followed by Justin Upton, Chris Johnson, Phil Gosselin, and then Andrelton Simmons, Gerald Laird, and Julio Teheran. They will face Phillies left-hander Cole Hamels, 7-6 on the year, an ERA of 2.59. Hamels with 15 career wins against the Atlanta Braves. He has been solid for the Phillies since the All-Star break. He has been one of the best pitchers in baseball. You see 158 strikeouts this year.
Yeah, and the scouting report on Cole, 90 to 93. We've seen him top at 95 this year, especially back in a couple months ago when he pitched here against the Atlanta Braves. But cutter, change, curve, and like you said, Tom, 15-8 with a 3.34 ERA versus the Braves in his career.
He's pitched to a 7-5 record here at Turner Field. This will be his 20th start here in Atlanta. And he'll face Jason Hayward to start things off. Last time we saw the Braves, Hayward was not leading off. It was B.J. Upton that was leading off. This is Hayward's 86th game this year as the leadoff hitter. He takes down low. It's 1-0. It'll be Hayward, Bonifacio, and Freeman for the Atlanta Braves, who are 72-65. In the dirt, 2-0. He was fiddling around with the foot of the mound. Phillies play Hayward to pull on the infield. Ashe way off the line at third, and Rollins is shaded toward the middle. They really wet down the infield today and in front of home plate. A lot of teams do that, but they had the hose out there for a while this afternoon. Fastball outside, 3-1. And a leadoff walk for Jason Hayward. So he's aboard to start the first for the Braves. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Freddie Gonzalez, his team has been rather streaky here in 2014. They did make a trade before the trade deadline with the Cubs, and that trade brought Emilio Bonifacio over along with James Russell, a left-handed pitcher. And Bonifacio starting in center today, making his 13th appearance in center field and his 12th start. And Matt Hamels a little out of whack right now to start this game.
Yeah, he's missing up and down. Kind of like to see him throw maybe a curveball or a changeup to, just to get back out in front of it and change that arm slot a little bit. But yeah, he's good enough. He'll lock it in here pretty soon.
Bonifacio shows bunt, and he does get a curveball, or I should say, actually it looks like a cutter. And it's 2-0. So Ruiz out to the mound.
Right now it looks like Cole's struggling with the mound. His landing area is, he's looking back a lot just to see.
It does happen from time to time, although he's pitched, as we said, this is his 20th start. Can't imagine the mound is a whole lot different, but from time to time maybe they do something a little different to get it ready. Hamels has allowed at least 3 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts. He's gone 7 innings, 5 innings, and 7 innings in those 3 starts. Overall, though, since the All-Star break, he's only lost the 1 game. His ERA is outstanding at 1.93. He's currently tied for 3rd in the National League in earned run average. Overall at 2.59. And a little high. It's 3-0. Back-to-back 3-ball counts. This is odd for Hamels to begin a game. Runner goes, pitches a strike, throw to second base, not in time. Stolen base number 15 for Jason Hayward.
Something you see a lot now in baseball is a 3-0 steal. You know, the pitcher's concentrating so hard on the hitter to throw a strike, and see what happens there. You get a tremendous jump.
Yeah, he was halfway to second base by the time Ruiz even got the ball. Carlos's throw was a one-hopper, but it wouldn't have mattered. So now 3 balls and 1 strike to Bonifacio. And he bunts foul. It's 3-2. He's trying to get Hayward over to third for Freddie Freeman.
Just shows you right there how much the Braves respect the stuff that Hamels have, especially on a 3-1. You're going to try to bunt a guy over. You know, that's Bonifacio. That's him doing that himself. But realizing 1-0, such a, you know, to get that 1 run.
There's the second walk of the inning for Hamels, and it will bring Freddie Freeman to the plate. Hamels, his last 2 starts, only walked 1 batter. His last 3 starts, he walked 2, 1, and 1. As we said, this is something that's very uncommon for Hamels to start a game. So Freddie Freeman, you see those numbers. He likes to swing at the first pitch. This is the 138th game of the year for Freeman. And he does swing at the first pitch. It's 0-1. The Giants play later on against the Rockies. Freeman, with his 138th game, at least for a couple hours, has the lead over Hunter Pence for games played in the National League this year. Overall hitting .291, 17 home runs, 69 runs batted in. Curveball, 0-2.
A little late calling the curveball, but I like it.
He was just trying to soak it all in. Freddie Freeman did not think that was a strike. Hamels just signaled something to Ruiz as he got the baseball back. He let out a pretty good grunt as he threw that pitch to the plate. One ball and 2 strikes, a fastball down. Got him. 94 on the fastball. Well, he just powered it right by him. 159th strikeout of the year for Hamels. And 1 out for Justin Upton.
Well, he definitely got in front of that one there. As you're talking about, he was grunting a little bit, but that was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and Freddie Freeman had no chance.
All right, so an out recorded here in the first. Justin Upton will be the batter. 91 RBIs. Upton is second in the league in RBIs. He's third in home runs with 26. He's had himself a solid year. Braves feel like he should be the player of the month for the month of August. He drove in 28 runs. And he swings at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Guy walks the first 2 batters. You were a middle of the order guy for a part of your career. Guy walks the first 2 batters, first inning. You thinking first pitch swinging because you figure he's going to have to throw a strike, or he's trying to throw a strike?
Yeah, I mean, especially with you know, Upton and Freeman, they're both first ball swingers, so you don't want to lose your aggressiveness, especially if you end up taking that pitch and it's right down the middle. Then you're really angry with yourself.
Runners go, and Hayward has second or third base stolen. Bonifacio follows, so second stolen base of the inning for Jason Hayward. And now it's second and third.
Well, Cole is a one-look guy to second base, and Hayward timed that right and stole third base pretty easily.
16 steals now for Hayward, 20 for Bonifacio, who leads off second. In case you lose sight of him, the rosin will give it away. See it on the top of his helmet. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, Hamels has found his fastball with these last two hitters. And now he's got Upton in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies play the infield back. They'll concede a run to try to get an out. Doug DeCenzo needs some quick feet over there in the third base coach's box on that swing. One of Ryan Sandberg's closest friends is Doug DeCenzo. He's been in the Braves organization. They promoted him to be the third base coach this year. Upton has been a run producer, but he has struck out too. He struck out 141 times this year. Got him. Boy, a high fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hamels. 2 outs here in the first.
142 and counting.
Boy, those are huge right there.
It is, and that's one of those things where earlier, first couple of hitters, he was kind of aiming a fastball. Now he's just leaning back and letting it go, and that's why he's hitting 93, 94 miles an hour. Not worrying about the two-seamer or the cutter. Just saying, here's a good old-fashioned baseball. Here's the four-seamer. Try to hit it.
Well, now Chris Johnson, who's no slouch. Johnson's driven in 55. He's hitting 272. Curveball that missed inside. 1-0. Johnson was 2 for 8 in the series against the Marlins, which the Braves wrapped up last night. Good numbers against Hamels. They'll appeal. Yes, he went around, says Jerry Meals.
So you got the tallest umpire and the shortest umpire.
Well,
I'm not picking on Jerry.
It does look that way.
There's the little fella.
I didn't even notice that when they were at home plate taking the lineup cards. That must have been a heck of a shot.
It's like when I used to play first base and Richie Sexton used to come over. I tell him to back up. I promise we won't do a pickoff play. Just back up, and because it was like looking up a hill.
1 ball and 1 strikes to Chris Johnson. Out toward left field, Dominic Brown is there, and Cole Hamels works out of a jam here in the first. He walked the first 2 batters. He allowed a couple stolen bases. We'll go to the second. Again, with the Washington Nationals, they're going to head home to Philadelphia to begin a 4-game set with the Pittsburgh Pirates. All 4 games are night games. The Pirates battling for the Central Division as we speak. You can get tickets for that 4-game series by going to Phillies.com. Pirates are 2 games back in the National League Central. Milwaukee and St. Louis are all tied up, both at 73 and 63. Pittsburgh is 71 and 65. Milwaukee has lost 5 consecutive games. Some people thought they would make a move before yesterday's deadline to have a player available for the postseason. They did, but they made a move for a pitcher, not a hitter. Marlon Byrd waves at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Marlon 2 for 8 in the series against the Mets. Hit a home run on his birthday. And a line drive caught by Simmons at shortstop. He hit it squarely. 1 out here in the second. Well, the Phillies made a move yesterday, Murph, before the deadline of midnight. John Mayberry is on his way to Toronto to play for the Blue Jays. Actually on his way to Tampa to play for the Blue Jays.
That's right. Headed to Tampa to play for those Blue Jays. Traded yesterday just as the Phils landed in Atlanta. The news came out that John Mayberry, since with the team since 2008, you see his numbers: 245, 52 home runs, 169 RBIs in 500 games. On his way, and in return, the Phils have gotten a minor leaguer, third baseman, 22-year-old Gustavo Pierre, is how we're told it is pronounced. Pierre will will be on the Reading squad going forward, or at least that's where he'll be projected to start next season. He is a third baseman with some power. Ruben Amaro Jr. is here in Atlanta. Spoke to reporters earlier today. He's got some power. They've been watching him for quite some time now. He strikes out a lot, too much, says Ruben, and walks not enough, but they're hoping that as he continues on, he's just 22, he'll get a little bit better with that. But they like this guy. They've had their eye on him for a little bit of time, so they thought making the move with John Mayberry and sending him on his way was the right thing to do, guys.
Yeah, they said they debated it over the last several weeks, and obviously Mayberry's battling that wrist injury, so they had to wait for him to be healthy before they could make a deal. As Dominic Brown fouls one off the left, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I was talking to Gibby, the manager for the Blue Jays, and he said that they've been had their eye on Mayberry ever since spring training. They've been trying to get a hold of him. Yeah,
I think their feeling is that he can DH, he can play all 3 outfield positions, as the Phillies are well aware, and he can also play first base. A little low, 3-2. He is an excellent defensive first baseman.
And that's where I think you're going to see him play in Toronto. I think they want Encarnacion back to DHing. I think they're trying to get rid of Adam Lynn eventually. And then I'll be really surprised to see if they re-sign him, and that would open up the door for Mayberry to play first base.
Yeah.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. Murph's out in the crowd, so he's obviously being asked some questions. They're asking him where certain restaurants are in the Atlanta area where they can go for dinner after the game today.
All of that is true, and then they're asking me to sit down.
Murph, gosh darn it, you're in the way.
Yeah, apparently. Hey, I was going to mention, guys, just in terms of Pierre, too, he's listed as a third baseman, but if you look at his minor league numbers, he's also played some shortstop, and, his power numbers were pretty good. He split time between single A and double A in I'm sitting now because I was in the way of those shows, but in between single A and double A for Toronto. And, he had 24 doubles, 8 home runs, 43 RBIs in the season this year. So they're the kind of things that caught the eye of the Phillies front office, and remains to be seen whether or not he can move up through the organization.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Get comfortable. Stay out of everybody's way.
I'm going to try.
Carlos Ruiz is the batter after Tehran just walked his first Philly hitter of the year. They walked Dominic Brown. There were a couple close pitches. Gerald Laird, the catcher, held them there for a few moments. Carlos hitting .262, 4 homers, 23 runs batted in. Had a play, and it's 0-2. .25 1/3 innings before his first walk against the Phillies. Overall, he's only walked 4 in 43 2/3 against the Phils during his young career. Down low, 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Mets. Giancarlo Stanton, his 34th home run.
Still trying to figure out why teams are pitching to Stanton. To me, he's the MVP of the National League this year. So why are you giving him an opportunity to beat you?
They want to see how far he can hit it.
Uncle already.
Well, he leads Rizzo in the home run race as that ball is grounded to third. This could be 2. There's 1 and 2. Around the horn double play. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We'll go to the bottom of the second here in Atlanta. The Phillies and the Braves. Tweet it at PST on CSN, and Michael Barkan could discuss your tweet on Philly Sports Talk, presented by Comcast Business. That's later on at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. We'll go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Phil Gosselin, Andrelton Simmons, and Gerald Laird.
I'm not answering no more questions. I never won those tickets, so.
Well, you don't know that you didn't win those tickets.
Well, I haven't been told.
Yeah, well, you still got time.
When's the draw?
I don't know when the date is, but you might. I think September 2nd. I think tomorrow. First pitch to Gosselin is a strike. It's 0-1. Phil Gosselin out of Malvern Prep. It's nice to see a local kid getting a chance to play in the big leagues. They like him. They feel like he's got some pretty good pop. Now they have Tommy La Stella, who is another second baseman. They think that Gosselin has potential for more pop than La Stella. Freddie Gonzalez said it's not a platoon for Gosselin and La Stella. He's picking his spots, just as he's picking his spots for Bonifacio in center instead of B.J. Upton. Phil's 25 years old. After graduating from Malvern Prep, he went to the University of Virginia. Outstanding college career. Hit .344 at AAA this year with 5 home runs. That's a grounder foul. There's Tommy La Stella. See, I thought La Stella had pop just by watching him swing. But according to some of the Braves folks, they feel like Gosselin's ceiling is higher when it comes to the power numbers.
So are we talking pop as in 20 to 30 guy or a 10?
I would say probably 10 to 15, but more double pop, gap to gap pop.
So gap power.
Yeah.
Not home run power.
Right. 1-2 pitch. And that ball got a piece of him. That is the 7th batter that Hamels has hit this year. So he's allowed 3 base runners, 2 walks, and now a hit batter. And here's Andrelton Simmons. Simmons batting .247. He has 7 home runs, 1 for 14 in his career against Hamels. Hamels allowed the first 2 batters to get aboard in the first, but was able to get the next 3 hitters. Swing and a miss. His fastball has been overpowering when it's in the zone in this game.
Well, and he's at that area where it's a little elevated, and it's very hard to get on top of it. If you take a big swing, you have no chance, and that's why you've seen these guys swinging through that fastball. Now, 93 down the zone is easier to hit than 93 belt high. Captain Obvious right there, wasn't I?
Well, I would think that if you play the game, you understand that 93 down low is a little easier than 93 up high. But, you know, you can see it here, just trying to get on top of that fastball. I would think 93 would be hard to hit up, down, sideways, backwards, whatever. One ball, 2 strikes to Simmons. Simmons with 26 extra base hits this year. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Hamels.
That's just a good location, and that's the swing almost like you're looking for a different pitch. It was almost like I'm sitting off speed, and oh darn, it's a fastball. Now I have to react to it.
I think his changeup does that to hitters, though, Matt. I mean, I know you're not supposed to do that, but with 2 strikes, I think that his changeup does that to hitters.
Which is, you know, good for Cole. Kind of backwards thinking for a hitter.
Darryl Laird checks his swing on a fastball. Not a whole lot of changeups, though, in these first 2 innings for Hamels. 1 ball and no strikes to Laird. Evan Gattis getting today off. Simmons in the dugout chatting a little bit about his at-bat.
Because there isn't anyone in baseball that can sit off speed and react to a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball with 2 strikes. I don't care who you are, your hands are not that quick.
Now there's a changeup. It was up a little bit, but Laird geared up to hit the fastball, had committed. Could Hank Aaron do it?
He could have hit a 144 mile an hour fastball.
Little dribbler in front of the plate. Ruiz will make the play at first. 2-3 on the put out. Up to second goes Gosselin. And that'll bring Julio Teheran to the plate. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Teheran is 5 for 58 this year. He does have 1 extra base hit. It was a double. He has struck out 20 times. play, 0-1. The ever-changing demographic of baseball. This is the second time in as many series that the Phillies have seen a player from Colombia. Herrera, the second baseman for the Mets, was the 14th player to make it to the major leagues from Colombia. And here's Tehran.
What number was he?
I think Tehran was 12. Fly ball, shallow right field. Down the line, foul territory, and out of play. And one hop. It's 1-2.
Who was the first?
There was a guy at the turn of the century, I forget his name, but played early on in the major leagues. And then there was a huge void for a long time. You know, Orlando Cabrera was one of the more notable players from Colombia. And speaking of Herrera, his first major league home run. And he's cut that lead to 1. It's 2-1. One-two pitch. Off the hands, out towards shallow right. Here comes Bird. He'll make the catch. And after the hit batter, Hamels is able to get the next 3 hitters. So the Braves 0 for 4 in the first 2 innings with runners in scoring position. That is a good thing as we go to the third. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Matt, the question is this. What Phillies pitcher won 2 games and saved 2 in the 1993 National League Championship Series against the Braves? I got to think 93 here. Answer will be revealed a little later on. Cody Ashley will lead it off as we go to the third. In an effort to be exact as far as numbers go, Tehran was the 10th player from Colombia to make his major league debut. I thought the Solano brothers were before Tehran, but Donovan Solano and Jonathan Solano were after Julio Tehran. First pitch to Cody Ashley, and it's just off the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. She's had a tough go of it against the Braves during his career. 7 for 72 against the Braves. He's due.
Yes, he is. 7 for 70.
2 for 31 this year. Two balls and one strike. Cody had a decent series against the Mets. He was 4 for 11. Outside, 3-1.
It'd be interesting to see the charts of, and take a while to do it, pitches that he sees when he plays versus the Atlanta Braves, or compared to other teams. If you're seeing more off-speed pitches, location.
That one's out toward right center field. See, he was due. And it's going to go to the wall. And Ashley will get to second base. It's the second double of the day for the Phillies. And Ashley reaches 20 doubles here in 2014.
He gets a 3-1 fastball up in the zone. Got a little tailed, and that's what we wanted. We want him up in the zone, Tehran, when he's pitching, and that's what happens. His ball gets a little flat, and the ball jumps off his bat. It's a nice swing. Hottest hitter, 1 for 1.
1 for 1. He and Jimmy Rollins.
There you go.
Well, now Hamels up there to try to get him over to third. The corners pinch in. Johnson on an angle at third base. Freeman in on the grass at first. Hamels squares. And he bunts it toward third. That's a beautiful bunt. Sacrifice is successful. Put out goes 1-4. Over to third base goes Ashe. You mentioned Buchanan's style the other day. That was a good style right there by Hamels.
It was. And what I like is that he turns early. He gets the barrel out in the front, has that little angle, and he bunts it to the right spot. He bunts it towards third base. Now all of a sudden the third baseman has to make the decision if he has to come in and get it or not. And that allows Cody Ashe to go to third base very easily.
I don't know if you could hear it. It was sort of quiet, but you can hear Gerald Laird, if you listen intently, say 1-1-1-1.
Yep.
So now the infield is in with Ashe at third. Revere is up. And a curveball, 1 ball and no strikes. Revere grounded back to the mound his first time up. Slaps it the other way. Upton toward the line, gets a running start. Ashe tags from third. He's coming home. The throw to the plate is not in time. The bounce was too high, and the Phillies take a 1-0 lead. It'll be a sac fly for Ben Revere, just his 16th RBI of the season.
Well, we knew it was going to be close play because Upton has a pretty good arm in left field, and there was momentum getting behind that ball. If anything was saved right there is that he was going to his right just a little bit and had to straighten up before he threw the home plate. And like you said, the throw was just a little high bounce right there, allowed Cody Ashe to get in there safely.
And there was a path. If you're wondering about blocking the plate, the throw took Laird into that spot, but he left a path at the top, and Rollins, you couldn't see him in the screen, but Rollins was waving to Ashe from behind home plate to go toward the top of the dish. So 1-0 Phillies here in the third. 1 ball, no strikes to Rollins. Outside 2-0. Rollins doubled his last time up.
And that's what we just saw this. Get the double, get him over, get him in. This is what we saw with their last handful of wins. And when they lost the 2 games in New York, they had the opportunities to get guys over and get them in, and it didn't happen.
Particularly yesterday. They had a lot of opportunities yesterday. 3-0.
I was talking to Nieves today down in the lobby before we were coming over here, and I said, "Bro, you don't look very happy." He goes, "Oh, man, yesterday I stunk." I said, "Yesterday's over with. You got to just change the page." He goes, "Yeah, but I had situations. I had bases loaded. I had man on third base. Both times I couldn't get a guy in." I said, "Well, next time the concentration level picks up a little bit. Or maybe you're trying to do too much." He goes, "Yeah, but I still stinked."
3-2 to Rollins.
Oh, nice play.
Excellent catch by a youngster. Wow. That ball
caught him.
Well, he did a great job of just staying with it.
He's on TV.
Rollins lifts it toward the middle of the diamonds. And Simmons will give way to Gosselin, who puts it away. Phillies do score a run on the sac fly by Ben Revere. After the leadoff double by Cody Ashe. Just 2 hits, both doubles for the Phils as we go to the bottom of the third. McDonald's, any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Phillies have taken the lead against Julio Teheran and a sac fly by Ben Revere. So it's 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the third. And Hamels will face the top of the order. He's walked 2, he's hit 1 batter through the first 2. Mentioned the last time we saw the Braves, B.J. Upton was the leadoff hitter. And Upton, we will see him during this series. But Freddie Gonzalez, since they acquired Emilio Bonifacio, has sat Upton a little bit more. But he said a lot of the same things that Ryan Sandberg said about the left field position. He said it's sort of a touch and feel thing. He's not going to say that it's a platoon. He's not going to say that Bonifacio is going to play more, that Hayward will lead off more. Every day he's going to come to the ballpark and he's going to gauge what the better matchup is.
So in other words, it's a platoon.
Pretty much a platoon.
But they just won't say it.
Inside, 3-1 to Hayward. I think Hayward kind of fits, whether it be as a leadoff hitter. He's probably better fit than B.J. Upton. I thought maybe they'd put Bonifacio in the leadoff spot a little bit more when he's in the lineup. Outside, and Hayward walks for the second time. Well, the Braves will pay their final visit to Philadelphia the final weekend of the regular season, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 26th, 27th, and 28th. It's Goya Latino Family Night, Saturday the 27th, and Sunday is Fan Appreciation Day. Tickets for all remaining home games can be picked up by going to Phillies.com. Bonifacio walked his last time up. Hayward had already stolen second by the time Bonifacio had walked. Today's ballgame is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Bill Kulick and Angel Castillo have the coverage. They're back home in Philadelphia. They'll probably be in Washington this weekend when the Phillies take on the Nationals. Big part of the Phillies broadcast team, providing a great service. No balls and 2 strikes to Bonifacio, the runner at first. I think Larry Boa just asked where that pitch was from the dugout. And he checked but went around, according to the home plate umpire. Strikeout number 4. This is the pitch before the strikeout. That is really close.
That's a strike. But no harm, no foul. He's getting back with a high fastball for a check swing punch out. So
Freddie Freeman struck out his first time up. Curveball low, 1-0. Freddie Freeman's hitting .291 this year. .330 in the month of August. Runner goes. Pitch is taken low. Throw to second by Ruiz is not in time. 3rd stolen base of the day for Hayward. Now, Matt, he's stealing all of these on Hamels, right? This has nothing to do with Carlos Ruiz.
No, he's got something in his move, knowing when he's going to go home. And as you can tell right there, as soon as he lifts his leg, he realizes he's going home. And those are the ones. All 4 stolen bases today have been stolen off Cole Hamels.
So 3 for Hayward in today's game. 1 for Bonifacio. 2 balls and no strikes to Freeman. Now 4 3-ball counts. That's why Hamels is up to 54 pitches here in the 3rd. And there's ball 4. take a look at our Mazda leaders, and it's the RBI leaders of the month of August. Upton leads the way with 28 ahead of Giancarlo Stanton. Corey Dickerson and Matt Holliday tied with Ryan Howard with 23. Stanton started September with an RBI on a home run earlier today. He has 99 RBIs on the season. Little dribbler in front of the plate. Hamels will have a play at first. 2 outs. Runners on second and third. You got Chris Johnson to fly out to left in this same situation. Back in the first inning after he struck Upton out. Now he gets Upton to ground out.
Well, I like that pitch to Upton because the first time through, he threw fastball after fastball. Upton was a little late. Now all of a sudden he decided he had to cheat and start a little earlier. Pulls the string, throws the changeup, gets a little scuba in front of home plate. So now the second time through, I would give the advantage to the pitcher. Just the way going off the previous at bats of what you threw each other or what you threw that hitter at the moment.
Oh, he throws a changeup to Johnson. Now, this second time through, we're seeing more changeups from Hamels.
Right. Well, I mean, he wants to establish the fastball early in the game. So first pitch is coming in with fastball. Not necessarily falling in love with the fastball. But now all of a sudden, if he wants to get ahead with the fastball, okay, now I have to change it up. Now you use the hitter being over aggressive and basically swinging at the pitch instead of seeing the pitch.
Yeah, Johnson was trying to sell that one because he was fooled on a fastball at 94. That was a strike. And now it's 0-2. A lot of signs being thrown down by Ruiz. They haven't gotten to the one Hamels once until now, and now time is called. And Carlos out to chat with Hamels. All right, now I would think that this is the prime time for a changeup down and away. Now, what would you think is a hitter?
High fastball.
Okay. Now, in the old days of Cole Hamels, it probably would be a changeup, right?
Exactly.
But as he's gotten older, more experienced, he's now 30 years old with 106 wins. He's got so many other weapons. 0-2 pitch. Late on a high fastball. He's about to throw his 60th pitch of the day.
Now what he throws here, I have no idea. I'd say changeup.
See where Ruiz sets up. He's creeping outside. Now he comes inside. The pitch is looped out toward right. Here comes Bird. Diving catch. What a play. And once again, Cole Hamels works out of a tough spot. This time in the third. Marlon Bird got a great jump and made an aggressive pass at that ball. And this was an outstanding defensive play. The Braves lead 2. We'll go to the 4th. Summers, like Philadelphians, Avery weatherproof labels from WB Mason are built to withstand the extreme elements. Trust Avery labels with your most essential shipments. Who but WB Mason? Well, Matt, we've talked all year long about Marlon Byrd's defense, and he just saved 2 runs to finish up the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cole Hamels has not allowed a hit yet, but he's walked 4. He's hit 1 batter. He's had to work out of a jam in the 1st and the 3rd. And now we begin the 4th, and Chase Utley takes a strike. It's 0-1. Utley struck out his first time up. That one's pulled towards second. And Gosselin to his left. 1 out. Ryan Howard's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy as he faces Tehran faces Murph, another left-hander.
Another left-hander. Ryan Howard, one of 7 left-handers if you count Cole Hamels in the Phillies lineup today, and that's by design. Obviously, Ryan Sandberg looking at the numbers, and if you look at the beginning of the season, Tehran was having a lot more success against left-handers than he has of late. He's actually seeing more left-handers now, 48% up to that 56% of his batters he's facing are left-handed. Opponent's average has jumped almost 100 points to 284. And looking at the slugging percentage as well, up almost 190 points. So he's not having the kind of success against the left-handers that he had earlier in the season. Other teams are noticing it. Ryan Sandberg noticed it, and that's why the lineup looks like it did today. Cody Asher, we saw earlier in the game, had a real good at bat.
All right, Matt, what are you seeing that would lead you to believe that the lefties are having more success? Is the changeup not running as much? Is the fastball not moving as much?
I don't think he's throwing enough changeups. I think he's relying on his curveball and his slider, and he's not burying that slider in the dirt. His fastball's up in the zone at times. He's becoming basically a 2-pitch pitcher with an off-speed pitch. Either the curveball or the slider. His changeup, Link's hitting 242 against the changeups. So it's up in his zone a little bit. But it's his curveball and his slider at 164 and at 197, where early in the season he had control with it anytime he needed to. But now it's just getting too much of the plate, and that's why it's getting hit hard.
Well, as Murph said, he's allowed the double to Rollins, switch hitter batting left-handed, and the double to Ashe. So 2 hits so far. And the Phillies lead at 1-0. It's 1-2 to Howard. And he picks up a strikeout of Howard. Second strikeout for Tehran. And there are 2 outs for Marlon Byrd.
You see, Larry wants a high fastball and gets a high fastball, and it's hard to get on top. Now, even though he doesn't throw 94, 95, still location with 91 up in the zone is still very hard to get your hands above the ball and drive it.
Well, Byrd lined out his first time up. Marlon with 25 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Swings at the first pitch here. Freddie Freeman backpedaling, and he says he has it. Phillies go down in order. Pretty quick inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. 6 in a row retired by Tehran. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Plus sports stores. Go further. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota, the annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Phillies are up 1-0 on a sunshiny afternoon here in Atlanta. Temperatures around 90 degrees for today's ball game, the 1st of September. Still a few weeks left in summer, but this is, traditionally the end of the summer as folks, kids get set to go back to school. Some are already back to school. Colleges are already underway. 1 ball and no strikes to Phil Gosselin. Gosselin was hit by a pitch his last time up, and he chops it foul. It's 1-1. Now back home, school is preparing to get underway in New Jersey, and some schools in New Jersey and Pennsylvania already underway. Here in Georgia, they started about 3 weeks ago. Some started a month ago. Fly ball left center field. Ben Revere has plenty of room out there. He'll settle under it to put it away for out number 1. And here's Andrelton Simmons. Simmons struck out his first time up. 4 strikeouts today for Hamels. That gives him 162 on the season.
I think school in Canada starts Wednesday?
This week?
I think Wednesday.
Yeah. Simmons out towards center field. It's not deep. Long run for Revere, but he's there. So that is helpful for Hamels that he's able to get 2 quick outs here in the 4th. Well, next Friday when the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins, it'll be the start of a 3-game series. It wraps up on Sunday, and all fans will receive, all fans 14 and under will receive the Fanatic Oyo mini figurine and buildable dugout set. That's brought to you by the New Jersey Education Association. Tickets can be purchased for that 3-game series against the Marlins by going to Phillies.com. German Heritage Celebration is Saturday, and Cabrini College Knit Hat Night is Friday. Two balls and no strikes.
Be nice to see Cole get out of this inning with 10 pitches or less.
Absolutely.
So far, Cole's been able to dial in with the fastball, spot it better. He's having a little trouble throwing that curveball and the changeup for strikes, but
up and in, 3-2.
well, Tom, so much for the 10-pitch inning. We're doing already. He was at 8 when I said it.
Yeah. A little higher than that, though. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Laird. He fouls that one off his foot. Yeah, that's going to hurt. Oh, man. Oof. He's going down. That. Freddie Gonzalez just signaled, I think, to Evan Gattis to get the gear on. Oh, right on the inside of that foot.
They're off the foot?
Yeah,
below the pad?
I think it was below the pad on the instep on the ball of the foot. I don't know if he'd be able to continue just the way he reacted. I mean, he's still.
He's fine.
And he's ready to go.
Told you. It's a catcher. All right, Thompson, what are you throwing this pitch?
Well, if he decides to throw a cutter, he can throw a cutter.
100% throw a cutter right here.
He hasn't thrown the cutter that much lately, though.
Throw a fastball inside. Nothing away.
Carlos sets up inside, and he fouls it away. Ooh, he's limping again. It remains full 3-2. Out towards shortstop. Rollins backhands from deep short, long throw in time. Laird doesn't run well anyway, and with that foul ball off his foot, he's been slowed even more. A 14-pitch fourth inning for Hamels. Braves go down 1-2-3. Quiz answer. All right, Matt. What Phillies pitcher won 2 games and saved 2 in the '93 National League Championship Series against the Braves?
The Wild Thing with the great mullet, Mitch Williams.
He did have a good mullet back then. Mitch Williams is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Well, we're a little delayed as we get set for the top of the 5th inning because Gerald Laird got his foot, shin, leg all retaped in between innings. And he's now ready to go. Evan Gattis was out there warming up Julio Teheran. Teheran's finished his warm-up tosses, or finished them a little while ago. That was a 10-pitch at-bat for Laird. And
a painful one.
Well, I guess he didn't finish his warm-up tosses. Now he's done. Yeah, it was a painful one. Cole Hamels is not allowed to hit through 4 innings. And this team is leading at 1-0 against Julio Teheran. Teheran will face Dominic Brown, Carlos Ruiz, and Cody Ashe. Dominic, 8 home runs, 58 RBIs. He had 4 hits yesterday. It's all part of a 5-hit road trip for him. 5 for 10. Outside, 1-0. He was thinking fastball there. He was way out in front of a changeup. Curveball pulled foul past Juan Samuel. It's a pretty good swing yesterday. The opposite way for Dominic Brown.
Well, it isn't an elevated fastball and drives the ball to left field. Everything perfect. The shoulders in there. The hip stayed square, the point of contact, then you release the swing. And the first 3 swings of this at bat, he's got away from.
He's fallen back again.
Right. His upper body is going away from the pitcher to the point where it tells me that he's looking to pull. And he doesn't have to pull because with the strength and his leverage and his bat speed, he can hit a home run anywhere. And it proved it yesterday in a big ballpark in New York. Now that was a better swing.
Down the right field line, that'll hook foul. Try to get that pitch in, and Brown was able to spin on it. I do believe that did that go right down that corridor?
I would be lying if I answered you. I have no idea.
It was tough to tell. He's spoiling some pitches here. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brown.
Right, and he's also cut back on his swing. The first couple of swings was a little out of control. The changeup, the fastball, curveball that he got. Now he's sitting back and really protecting the strike zone.
Well, this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Protects again. Tehran is still ahead 1-2. Brown actually dropped the bat as he fouled that one off. This is really a good at bat from Dominic Brown. Now he hasn't gotten on base yet, but it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's fouled a bunch of pitches off. He's seen 10 pitches so far. This will be number 11. 7 foul balls. Off the end of the bat, out towards left, and Upton position perfectly, makes the catch. 7 in a row retired by Tehran since the double by Ashe. Tonight at 6:30 and 11, Marshall Harris talks to Ben Revere about his quest for the batting title. Plus, Cole Hamels talks about his Denim and Diamonds charity event. We'll also salute the Taney Dragons one more time on Phillies Clubhouse. Presented by Mercedes-Benz on Comcast Sportsnet. Laird goes out to the mound. He's probably giving Tehran a little bit of a breather after that long at bat. Results in a fly ball to left. 11 pitches for Dominic Brown. Carlos hit it to a double play his first time up. Out towards center field. It's not deep, but Bonifacio was able to track it down for the second out. Boy, it didn't sound good off the bat of Carlos Ruiz.
It sounded like he got jammed just a little bit.
Sounded almost hollow. Cody actually doubled and scored the game's only run. That was his last time up. Takes a change up, 0-1. Actually, that was a fastball, excuse me. Had some really good movement down. Tehran was 9-6 in the first half of the season with an ERA of 2.71. Second half 4-3. His earned run average coming into today's game 3.42. It's dipping a little bit today. And Ashley lines it to right, and Hayward will make the catch. So all three outfielders got into the mix here in the fifth inning. 9 in a row retired by Tehran, but the Phillies still lead at 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. To you by Citizens Bank. The Phillies Junior RBI League has been teaching kids how to play the game since 1989. Donate a baseball glove or two to the next generation of baseball greats at the Citizens Bank kiosk at Citizens Bank Park. Introducing one deposit checking from Citizens Bank, keeping things simple. It's helping you bank better. Last of the fifth, 1-0 Phillies on top. It's that kind of day. You need your big hat. Cover up a little bit on a sunny afternoon here in Atlanta. Cole Hamels has allowed some base runners today. He's walked 4. His season high is 5. You need a big hat or you need a big box? I'm not sure what works better, Matt.
Either way, it's going to work.
I wonder if there's something better to use.
It's called an umbrella.
Yeah, an umbrella. There you go. Tehran shows bunt, takes way inside 1-0 as we begin the fifth. Hamels begins the fifth inning with 74 pitches. That was number 75. He threw 14 pitches in the fourth inning, but 10 of those pitches came against Gerald Laird. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Tehran. fighting it a little bit now with the home plate umpire, Jordan Baker. He has 6 3-ball counts, including this one. Tehran is really trying to sell a walk right here. Showing bunt, backing out, jumping up and down. Ground ball to shortstop. Rollins gets to it. Tehran pulled up a few feet from the bag, so it's an easy play. 6-3 on the putout. Well, it's time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. The reason it's 1-0 is because of this play right here.
Came back in the third inning. Chris Johnson hits a line drive to right field. The man on second and third, Marlon Byrd. We've been talking about it all year. The great jumps he gets in right field. Makes a very nice diving catch to save 2 runs and keep the no-hitter alive. That is your defensive play of the game, brought to you by Hyundai.
Yeah, if you're your local Hyundai dealers right there, that's a big one. Here's Hayward. He's walked twice. He has stolen 3 bases. That's a career high. Take strike 1. It's 0-1. Third time through the lineup for Hamels.
Good fastball right there.
94.
Yep. Good location.
Now the 1-2 pitch to Hayward. And he just stays alive, gets a piece of a curveball. He is essentially doing this today, Hamels, with just a fastball, right? He doesn't, I mean, he's had a couple decent changeups, but for the most part, he's using fastball here.
Yeah, he's probably right around 75-80% fastball today.
Well, now back-to-back curveballs. And it's even the count 2-2. He just hasn't had that pitch.
Well, that's why he's at 85 pitches, 50 strikes, 35 balls already.
Yeah, the splits for Hamels are very un-Cole-like. And low ball 3, so another 3-ball count. 7 3-ball counts. And it's the 4th 3-2 count.
And that last pitch was 95.
Fly ball short right center. Bird says he has it. 2 gone here in the 5th. Well, it's time now for our cold hard fact. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. All right, Matt, if you were ever wondering what the Phillies have done on Labor Days, well, here you go. Phillies have won each of their last 3 games on Labor Day. Since 1900, they have posted a 41-71 record on this holiday. That's not good. The Phillies and Braves last met on Labor Day on September 5th, 2011. Phillies won 9-0 at home. So there's your Coors Light cold hard fact. Here's Bonifacio, and it's 0-1 to Bonifacio. He has struck out and walked.
Well, we're on a streak, 3 in a row.
That's right.
Let's get 4.
This is a very interesting 4 if they are able to get it, particularly the way Hamels is pitching here today. He just threw his 90th pitch with 2 outs in the 5th inning. He's walked 4, he's hit 1 batter, and that's it. And now the 0-2 pitch. the end of the bat. Swing and a miss. He got him. Cole Hamels is not allowed to hit through 5 innings. The Phillies have a 1-0 lead. The issue for Hamels, though, is that he's in the 90s with his pitch counts. We'll go to the 6th. It's 1-0 Phillies on top. Obviously in a hurry to get somewhere because he's racing all around the diamonds. Ben became the 12th player in Phillies team history to pilfer 40 bases in a single season, and the first since J-Roll did so in 2008. The speedy one has now stolen 39-plus bases 3 times in his young career. In addition to sprinting from base to base, he remains among the leaders in the NL batting title race. Revere's Run is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Cole Hamels is going to strut to the plate. He is not allowed to hit through 5. He has a 1-0 lead, but he's at 92 pitches through 5 innings. I'm not sure if you're the manager, if you're even thinking about that at that point. The fact that he has a no-hitter through 5, and he's thrown 92 pitches.
No, I think it really depends on the next couple innings. If you get him through 7 innings with the lead, then
you start worrying about it.
Then you go to a very strong bullpen.
Yep. First pitch to Hamels here in the 6th. Foul tip.
Tom, I'm not a very big fan of pitchers swinging at the first pitch.
Well, you would rather have Tehran's approach, where he just showed bunt, danced around a little bit, ran the count 3-2.
Yeah, take till you get a strike.
Well, I know we've talked about this before. I said it was kind of neat the way Hamels goes up there and looks fastball and hacks at it right away. And then you said that you'd rather them take those pitches. I guess I've learned to agree with you on that one, particularly on a day like this. Hamels floats one out toward right field. Are you okay with that?
Oh, I love it. I'm loving it. And McDonald's, isn't it?
He's got a leadoff single there in the 6th inning.
Well, and I'm going to back it up right here. Why is because you swing at the first pitch. All right, you get a base hit, or if you get out. Let's say you get out. Now the guy has 1 pitch. As you can see, it's a curveball down and in. But now he made him throw 4 pitches. So if you think about going over the game with the pitcher for 3 at-bats, well, you're adding on 12, 15 pitches compared to 3 first pitch swing outs. It's an easy inning, or an easy out. Now he's got to work on the leadoff hitter.
Well, it is true. It is true. I mean, you know, the Hamels at bat against Tehran is a prime example of that. That was 6 pitches. There's a bunt toward third. Johnson fields and throws out Revere. Sacrifice is successful. 5-3 on the putout. Phil's looking to get another run here. They're up 1-0.
Look, and don't get me wrong. If there's a runners in scoring position, then go ahead and let it eat. Like I like to say, go up there and be aggressive and look for a pitch to drive.
No, the more you say it and the way you put it, I'm leaning toward what you said too. And I think Tehran's at bat today was as I mentioned, the prime example of that. On a day where Hamels is throwing a lot of pitches, he forced him to throw 6 in that one at bat, and he had no intention of swinging until there were 2 strikes. Rollins is 1 for 2. He doubled his first time up, popped out his last time. Outside, 1-0. Jimmy's looking to add to his list of Philly marks. If he gets a base hit here, it would be his 658th game in his career. As that one's pulled toward right field, Hayward on the run. It's over his head and is off the base of the wall. Hamels around third. He'll coast home. Rollins on his way to third. The throw by Goslin is one past Chris Johnson. It'll be a triple for Jimmy Rollins. The Phillies lead it 2-0. And that is the 658th multi-hit game in Jimmy Rollins' career. It's the most in franchise history.
Jimmy gets a nice curveball here, up in the zone. Nice short swing, and the advantage right there is I hit the bottom of that wall and stopped right there. But Jimmy goes into third base and kind of slides a little. But on a hot day, he's get a little rubbery right there.
That was an awkward slide.
But let's give some credit to Ben Revere for getting the sac bunt down as well.
Absolutely. First run scored of the year for Hamels, so he's given the Phils a 2-0 lead, and Chase Utley 0 for 2 will be the batter. The infield is now in. Utley takes low, 1-0. Cool down time. He was able to coast home from second, but it's a hot day. 2-0 to Utley. And now Laird out to chat with Tehran.
Well, the thing about Cole, he was able to coast home very easily. But as soon as Jimmy hit that ball to right field, Cole went back and tagged at second base. So you almost want to see him come off the base about 15, 20 feet. Because you have time, if you see Hayward go back and catch the ball, you still have time to go back and tag. But I guess either way works, so who cares?
Just gave him an extra 10 feet to run. Now they're going to intentionally walk Chase Utley. Well, it sets up a double play opportunity for the Braves if they choose to set their infield that way. But Justin Upton had the most RBIs in the month of August, but the guy walking up to the plate, Ryan Howard, was in the top 5. It's actually in the top 3. Well, Labor Day sale, save 50% and get MLB.com at-bat premium features for only $4.99. Follow every Phillies game, radio broadcast, and MLB.tv game of the day, and much more. You can download on the App Store. Sale ends soon. Visit Phillies.com/mobile today. Didn't come out right. All right, so Howard is up with runners on first and third. Howard is 0 for 2. .86 runs batted in. They do set up to try to turn 2. I think this alignment plays into Ryan Howard's hands. It's a traditional lineup defensively. Now, during the course of his career, if he faced this kind of lineup, he'd have many more hits. Outside with a changeup, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, the other day in New York, we saw the same situation. Herrera was playing way on the grass, but closer to first base, they ended up rolling a double play. Flores was standing on the other side of the base.
Ground ball towards second. Well, right into the shift or right into the alignment. A double play. Second double play turned by the Braves this afternoon. 4-6-3. Phillies settle for 1 on the RBI triple. That's given Cole Hamels a 2-0 lead. He hasn't allowed a hit as we begin the bottom of the 6th. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Bottom of the 6th inning. It's 2-0. Phillies on top thanks to the RBI triple by Jimmy Rollins. Murph, what do you got going on today, buddy?
Well, you know, Tom, today's a big day around Major League Baseball as a lot of Major League teams have added some minor league guys to their rosters as rosters expand on September 1st. Now, the Phillies have decided they're going to wait till tomorrow because the minor league teams are still finishing up their season, or at least the Iron Pigs are in the Lehigh Valley against Scranton today, and so is Reading. Take a look at some of the top prospects as we put an end to the minor league season. Maikel Franco, there's been a lot of talk about him, whether or not we'll see him tomorrow. About a .257, 16 home runs, 78 RBIs, and 32 doubles for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs this year, and a lot of that came in a very solid last 6 weeks of the season. Aaron Nola, the #1 pick, split his time between Clearwater and Reading this year. 11 starts, 4-3 with an ERA under 3. He had 10 walks and 45 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. And J.P. Crawford, the first-round pick for the Phils a year ago, split time between Lakewood and Clearwater this year, had a very good season. 285, 11 home runs, 48 RBIs, 24 stolen bases as well for J.P. Crawford. Plays an excellent shortstop as well. So those are some of the big names that are working their way through the system as the minor league teams put an end to their seasons this year, guys.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Outside 3-0 to Freddie Freeman. Freeman has walked once. 8 3-ball counts tonight or today for Hamels. Three and one. I think all around baseball, now we've seen a couple of players start to join the major league clubs, but all around baseball, tomorrow is the day as Hamels walks his 5th batter of the day. That ties his season high. He walked 5 after the first month, or during the first month of the season. Every time the Phillies retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. He walked 5 on the 29th of April against the Mets, and then he walked 5 again in St. Louis. I forgot about that St. Louis game. That's right. He lost that one 4-1. He went 7 1/3 that day, walked 5. His career high in walks is 6. Looks like the bullpen's stirring somewhat. Here's Justin Upton. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's grounded out. He hit one, tapped one right in front of the plate in front of Hamels. On the outside corner, it's 0-1.
It's a good pitch.
Sure was. I think Upton was peeking toward the outer half of the plate. Now the 0-2 pitch coming. Got him. Went upstairs with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 6 strikeouts for Hamels. Chris Johnson's coming up.
We've seen Cole Hamels use this pitch quite a bit today. That elevated fastball. 2-strike. Hitters kind of panic a little bit, thinking they have to foul it off. But they're going back to the walks so far tonight. Hayward walked twice and Freddie Freeman walked twice. He's having a hard time throwing that 2-seamer, which we've seen earlier in the season, for strikes inside. It seems like he's just kind of overthrown it, and he's pulling it some.
To those lefties.
To the left-handers.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of riding the fastball up down today more than anything else. Then that pitch right there, that off-speed pitch, was a good one. Antonio Bastardo is warming up in the bullpen. 0-2. Pitches by inning. Well, it began with that 24-pitch first inning when he walked the first 2 batters, but get out of that. He's had 2 1-2-3 innings, but even in those 1-2-3 innings, he had a lot of pitches. Here's the 0-2 to Johnson. Got him with a changeup. 7 strikeouts for Hamels.
It's really a pitch we haven't seen a whole lot today in the game, but came back with a very nice changeup down the zone. You can see how far Chris Johnson is out in front of him.
All right, the fact that Hamels hasn't allowed a hit, but his pitch count is at 104. Is Greg Walker telling his hitters, "Hey, listen, take a couple pitches," or are they saying go after a first pitch if it's there? I mean, what's the thought process?
He's probably saying good luck. No, I think it's look in the area. He really hasn't. Cole hasn't really been able to control his off-speed pitches. So I think what it is, you just get him down in the zone. Now that's what I would probably tell my hitters. Belt down, lay off the high fastball, because he still has that velocity to where you can't catch up to it.
1 ball and 1 strike. I say that too because at this point, even though he hasn't allowed a hit, you can't project that he's going to be around for 9 innings with his pitch count being the way it is.
No, but the thing about Cole, what makes him such a great pitcher, is that he can lock in his changeup from this pitch right here.
Absolutely.
And we saw it with Chris Johnson with the strikeout.
Well, there's a cutter, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gosselin. 0 for 1, hit by a pitch his first time up. Freddie Freeman not really a threat to run over at first. He does have a couple of stolen bases this year. The 1-2 pitch out toward right center, or out toward second base I should say, and Utley makes the catch. And Hamels is not allowed to hit now through 6 innings this afternoon. He's thrown 108 pitches through 6. We'll go to the 7th with the Phillies on top 2-0. And Sandberg both talking to Cole Hamels. Shake of the hands from McClure, a shake of the hand from Ryan Sandberg. Is he done, even though he has a no-hitter through 6? We shall see as we start the top of the 7th inning. Jimmy Rollins is laughing a little bit there. 108 pitches for Cole Hamels. Usually when you see a handshake like that from the pitching coach and the manager, usually indicates that a pitcher's done. Our local Honda dealer's game summary: Rollins has an RBI triple. He's also doubled today. Hamels no hits allowed through 6. Braves are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So we begin the 7th, and Marlon Byrd takes a strike. It's 0-1. Well, you figure he's, you know he hasn't allowed a hit, but there's no way he was going to finish this ball game anyway. But we'll wait and see what happens in the 7th. Diekman is throwing in the pen. I don't think he would be throwing at this point if he wasn't coming in to pitch the 7th inning. Would you agree with that, Matt?
Yes, I would. Cole Hamels is done for the day.
Swing and a miss by Byrd. And that's 3 strikeouts for Tehran. We begin the 7th inning with a strikeout. Dominic Brown is coming up. I mean, how hard of a decision is that to take a guy out if he hasn't allowed a hit? I guess it's a common sense decision.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one. I mean, you're going into the first game of September. You have your ace on the mound. He's thrown 108 pitches through 6 innings. The chances of him throwing 3 more innings, keeping his pitch total under 40, 45. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I thought they might have gave him one more start inning. To throw 7 innings. One more
inning. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I thought that too. There's a ground ball to short, and Simmons let it play him. And Dominic Brown is safe at first. That'll be E6, the 12th error of the year for Simmons.
Tom, that's a great call and let it play him. He sat back on his heels, got lazy on the ground ball. Ball hit right at him.
Luis Avilan, last time we saw the Braves, he had been shipped out to the minor leagues. So now Ruiz, who grounded into a double play in the second. And Dominic Brown nearly picked off. Boy, some quick feet by Tehran.
Hayward's taking his time to see if they'll be checking that out.
Freeman, you mean?
Yeah. Or what did I say, Hayward?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not Hayward. That's Freeman.
Well, Tehran has a good move. He has 5 pickoffs this year. Take a look. I don't know if he tagged him or not. I mean, he eventually got him, but I don't know if he tagged him initially.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, 0-1. Hamels does have a bat in the dugout.
So the Cole Hamels he's in the
hole.
He's in the hole with the bat and the helmet on.
Maybe it's just for show.
I think so.
Or it could be what you said. They may let him go out and pitch the 7th inning.
The problem is, if he goes out and throws 10 pitches in the 7th,
well, then they may let him pitch the 8th inning.
The 8th.
No balls and 2 strikes to Ruiz, and he stays alive. It is not out of the realm of possibility that he pitches the 7th. Looks like he's chopping wood right now. Dominic should shorten his lead up a little bit. Actually, I think he did shorten his lead up a little bit. Really close.
Get the one step and dive lead.
There he goes. Pitches high. The throw to second base is offline. Backed up beautifully by Simmons. Stolen base number 6 for Dominic Brown. He figured it was getting a little tight over there at first. He better get off the bag. I'd like to see more of that, wouldn't you, Matt?
I would. I really like the aggressiveness. He has a very nice jump. It actually wasn't a great pitch to steal him because it was a high fastball, but get the legs going, get in there easily.
So he's at second. The count 1-2 to Ruiz. Phillies up 2-0. They scored a run in the 3rd, 1 in the 6th inning. Cole Hamels, who has a no-hitter through 6 and 108 pitches. He's walked 5. He's hit a batter. Over toward the hole. And Simmons this time gathers it and throws Ruiz out. 2 outs. And Cody Ashley's coming up. I think Hamels is out in the on-deck circle. Maybe they'll walk Ashley intentionally, and then they'll force the hand of Ryan Sandberg here. They are going to walk Ashley intentionally.
Now, do you bring in? I'm assuming Grady Sizemore. If they bring a left-hander in, do you bring in Darren to hit?
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, I think this is, managers obviously have decisions they have to make all the time for the health of their player, for the future, all that kind of stuff. This is always a debate. Every time we see a guy having a no-hitter through 5 or 6, we look at the pitch count almost immediately and see, well, how far can he go? And Hamels is going to take a walk back to the dugout, so Sizemore will pinch hit for him. So Hamels' afternoon is complete. He did not allow a hit through 6 innings. He walked 5, hit a batter. He'll leave with at least a 2-0 lead. So that was more of a decoy than anything else.
Yeah, especially when you're watching Cole on deck taking right-handed swings.
And chopping wood while he was on the stairs of the dugout. Phillies Fitness is presented by NovaCare Rehabilitation. Summer camps are winding down, but you can obviously use the school version of the program. It's available right now. It is available through the month of September and beyond. Learn more by going to Phillies.com/fitness. And you see how fitness is spelled. All right, so Hamels will give way to the bullpen, and then we dip into the history books and go back to that Houston Astro game at Yankee Stadium where
4 relievers.
They combined for the no-hitter. Was it 4?
I think it was 4. I think Billy Wagner got the last.
Sizemore takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. I do remember watching that game and watching just the celebration at the end. Pitchers were pretty excited about being able to complete that no-hitter. Curveball, and that's over. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm thinking with that no-hitter, it might have been more than 4.
You know what? Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Neither do I. I'm just guessing.
It was at least 4. I believe it may have been more. Up high.
Is that the game Roy Oswalt started?
6 Astro pitchers combined for a no-hitter. Roy Oswalt was injured. He started.
Yep.
He was injured, and then 5 relievers picked it up after that. It was a little different scenario. It was an 8-0 Astros win. It was back on the 11th of June, 2003. Sizemore takes outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Billy Wagner was quoted after the game of saying this was the first appearance for most of us at Yankee Stadium. It was old Yankee Stadium. What better place could there be? This is like a history book. And at that time, it was the most pitchers ever to combine on a no-hitter in Major League history. Twice before, 4 pitchers had combined to do that. 3 balls and 1 strike to Sizemore. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Last time we were here, a trivia question was Merker, Kent Merker.
Right.
He was part of the no-hitter with some bullpen help.
Outside as the runners go. Ball 4. That'll load up the bases. That may be it for Tehran. We'll see what Freddie Gonzalez decides. He's going to still hang and send Roger McDowell out to chat with him. So he's going to stay in this ball game. He's at 96 pitches. And Ben Revere, who is 0 for 1 with a sac fly and a sacrifice bunt here this afternoon. All right, so Hamels is hoping that his offense can get his team a few more runs and give the bullpen a little bit of a cushion for the last 9 outs here this afternoon. Be interesting to hear what he says after the game, Matt, about the pitches that were working or not working, if he agreed with what we saw as far as the fastball being the dominant pitch and the other pitches just not being able to command all of them in the strike zone. Two outs, bases loaded, and Revere is up, takes a curveball. It's 0-1. No balls, one strike to Revere. Up high. Now, June 8th, 2012, the Mariners combined for a no-hitter. So it's been done twice since the year 2000. Phillies hope it'll be 3 times here this afternoon. Another curveball on the outside corner, 1-2. This will be the 100th pitch of the day. In the air to right center field. Hayward on the run. It's over his head and it's gone to the wall. This is going to clear the bases. And Revere on his way to third. It's a 3-run stand-up triple. And the Phillies have busted this ball game open. It's 5-0 here in the top of the 7th. 7th triple of the season for Ben Revere, and that's going to be it for Tehran.
Tehran went to the well one too many times with this curveball. Supposed to be down and in. He leaves it out over the plate. Very nice swing, drives it. Hayward playing shallow on right field. And all 3 runners score very easily.
That's 4 RBIs this afternoon for Ben Revere. Once it got into that alleyway, there was no doubt he was going to get to third. And there was no doubt the bases were going to be cleared. 4 RBIs here today for Revere. He came in with 15, so now he has 19. Pitching change at the top of the 7th inning with 2 men down. Runs on 5 hits. 8 and 9 in the order have scored 4 of the 5 runs. On Friday, September 12th, Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. It'll be Cabrini College knit hat for fans 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. 1 ball, no strikes to Rollins. Revere leads off third. The Phillies have scored 3 runs here in the 7th inning. Luis Avilan is the new pitcher for the Braves. Ground ball to third. Johnson's up with it. Casually throws over to first in time. So the Phillies scored 3 unearned runs. The error by Simmons opened the gates. And the triple by Revere gives the Phillies a 5-0 lead as we stretch. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Phillies 5, the Braves nothing. Oh, we mentioned earlier our AT&T fan photo of the game. Here it is. This one comes from Chris Volrath. Jordy at the park. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate that. Tweet your photo to hashtag Philly fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. All right, Jake Diekman, 64th game, 3-4 with a 3.73 ERA. And he's on to face Andrelton Simmons. Simmons 0 for 2. Braves have not managed to hit today. Hamels goes 6 innings. He winds up walking 5. He also hit 1 batter. He leaves with a comfortable 5-0 lead thanks to his offense. He also struck out 7 today. 108 pitches for Hamels on a hot afternoon. His career high was 133 earlier this season against the Mets, and Diekman delivers a strike. It's 0-1. There have been 285 no-hitters in baseball history. The 0-1 pitch, way outside, 1-1. Two balls and 1 strike to Simmons. It'll be Simmons, Laird, and then the pitcher spot. There is bullpen action for the Braves. And now 3-1. Shreve, the left-hander. Saw him the last time the Phillies were here in Atlanta. There's a slider for a strike, 3-2. Simmons kind of gave up on that one.
Interesting pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. Having a hard time controlling his fastball.
I think that's part of it. Yeah. Simmons is 0 for 5 lifetime against Diekman. And a slider and a called strike 3. 8 strikeouts today for Phil's pitching. And one away here in the 7th inning. Well, we talked about the Mariners having the last combined no-hitter on June 8, 2012. Kevin Millwood went 6 innings. And then he gave way to his bullpen. Tom Wilhelmsen was able to finish it off. That was a victory against the Dodgers. No balls and 1 strike to Laird. Mentioned there have been 285 no-hitters in Major League Baseball. 10 combined no-hitters in baseball.
Is that it? 10 combined.
Yeah. Where the starter left for one reason or another. We're trying to get that get the official number for that, but that's what we have. 0-2 to Laird. Braves have one of those combined no-hitters back in 1991, started by Kent Mercker. No balls and 2 strikes to Laird. And a foul ball. It remains 0-2. That game where the Mariners had the combined no-hitter, Millwood went the first 6. He threw 68 pitches. That one's way outside. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He left with a groin injury. Now Kevin threw a no-hitter with the Phillies, and on that day, if you go back and read the reports, it was beautiful. Day April 27th. That day, fastball, fastball, fastball. That's what he was throwing against the Giants. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Laird. Joey Tardoslavich is in the on-deck circle for the Braves. Probably a pretty big adrenaline rush also for the relievers coming in, not only to try to seal the deal in a win, but also keep this thing rolling. Be a part of history. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him with some high cheese. Back-to-back strikeouts for Diekman. Well, back on April 27, 2003, Kevin Millwood's no-hitter. Marquise Grissom out towards center field. Ricky Leday played very well in center field that day. Here's the final out. And the celebration was underway. That is one of the great pictures. If you walk around Citizens Bank Park, there are pictures of Kevin Millwood with his arms raised high. It's one of the great photos. A little piece of Phillies history right there.
It's one of the great guys in baseball as well.
Oh, yeah. Tardoslavich hits it sharply right at the second baseman, Chase Utley. We are through 7 innings this afternoon. The Phillies have a 5-0 lead, but the combined no-hitter is intact. We'll go to the 8th. It's the Phillies 5, the Braves 0. Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or shophonda.com. Buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Now we go to the top of the 8th inning. It'll be Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Marlon Byrd. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Phillies on a warm afternoon. Phillies scored 3 unearned runs in the 7th inning. And they lead it 5-0. And Chasen Shreve will be the new pitcher for the Braves. He'll take over for Avilan. Avilan got the only batter he faced in the 7th inning. Utley today is 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's grounded out. He was intentionally walked in the 6th inning. Phillies have 5 runs on 5 hits. Ben Revere has 4 RBIs this afternoon. Revere connected on a 7th triple of the season. Outside corner, 0-2 to Utley.
Chase took that pitch and kind of looked back at the umpire to see if he was going to call it or not.
See Shreve's numbers for the minor leagues: 46 games, a 2.67 ERA. Down low, 2-2. Chase trying to get his timing down. You see Kenny Giles warming up in the bullpen.
I wish I knew what ran through Chase's head while he's standing in that batter's box.
Just the fact that he froze on that one pitch. And he takes low ball 4 and just stood there as he walks for the 2nd time. And he's aboard here in the 8th inning. And that'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate. Howard's 0 for 3. Howard has grounded out twice, once to first and once into a double play.
That at bat there by Chase, it looked like he was thinking, this kid cannot throw 3 strikes. Because there were some pitches that were just off the plate that were close.
They were close, yeah.
You know, Chase was spitting on them. He wasn't even attempting to swing at them.
Howard takes it's 0-1. Backed up the fastball with a breaking pitch, and it's 0-2. had a foul tip, and Howard has struck out. Now that's the first out here in the 8th inning. With a runner at first, Marlon Byrd's coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thanks, Thomas. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University. In less than 2 years since taking over the helm, Houston Astros manager Bo Porter has been released of his duties. Porter and bench coach Dave Tremblay were both fired this morning. Jeff Luhnow, the general manager of the Houston Astros, said, it's not so much about the win-loss record. He admits that most of that is probably on him, but he said that he believes they need a change of atmosphere in the clubhouse, and that is why he's been relieved of his duties. Tom Lawless will now take over for them. And also a rarity in baseball last night. If you were watching the Cleveland Indians-Kansas City Royals game, it went into extra innings. The Indians went ahead 4-2 in the top of the 10th, and then those rains came that we saw, I guess, through Washington. They came and hit in Kansas City. The game was suspended and will be made up or be continued and finished on September 22nd later this season. The Indians have a 4-2 lead. They just have to play the bottom of the 10th inning. So it's an interesting situation, but that'll be the next time those two get together. And they'll finish that game, guys.
All right, it's an important ball game. All those games are important. The way the Indians are playing, the way the Royals are battling in the Central with the Tigers. No balls, 2 strikes to Marlon Byrd. Swing and a miss. Jeff Luhnow said that the process to try to find a manager, they're going to look for the same kind of manager they thought they were interviewing the last time when Bo Porter was hired. Just sounded like what Luhnow wanted and what the owner wanted, that Bo Porter didn't want. It's tough when you're losing all those games. Dominic Brown reached on the error that opened up the door for the Phils in the 7th inning. He lines that one out towards center. And Bonifacio crossed over from left center to make the catch. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Atlanta with the Phillies on top 5-0. They'll go back into their bullpen as Kenny Giles will come out, and he'll pick up for Jake Diekman. Diekman pitched a scoreless 7th inning and struck out 2. So it's Giles here in the 8th inning. Hamels went the first 6. Giles 3-1 with an ERA of 1.30. 5 walks, 1 hit batter for Hamels, no hits. Diekman worked a 1-2-3 7th inning. So now Giles 49 strikeouts and 34 2/3. He'll face the top of the order. It'll be Hayward, Bonifacio, and Freddie Freeman. Hayward today has walked twice. He has stolen 3 bases. He's also flied out to right.
What do you think? Hitters are going to be aggressive versus Giles, or are they going to make him throw some pitches?
That's a good question. I think they're going to make him throw some pitches, but I defer to you as a hitter what you would do.
Well, tendency usually in the 8th inning when you're getting no hit is you swing early. Look for that fastball and then try to jump all over it.
And he throws him a slider, and I think the umpire was fooled on that pitch because that looked like a really good pitch that was called ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Hayward. On the outside corner, 97 with that fastball. It's 1-1. The Braves threatened in the 1st and the 3rd today, but other than that, it's been pretty quiet. That one is back to the seats. Cole Hamels started the ball game by throwing 24 pitches in the 1st inning, and from there he was scuffling with his command, but man, did he work hard every time the Braves got base runners. And he got through 6, and then Diekman pitched the 7th. And now we're here in the 8th. The count is 1-2 to Hayward. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hamels still hanging on the bench. Conversation now with Pete Mackanin. Swing and a miss on a high slider. 1 out here in the 8th inning. That's 10 strikeouts combined for Phillies pitching.
Well, you're right. It's a high slider. Still at 84, 85 miles an hour. It's still very hard. You think it's going to break down. It kind of backs up and never gets to the barrel.
Here's Bonifacio, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out twice. He walked back in the 1st. Fastball outside, 1-0. Carlos Ruiz did everything he could to try to frame that toward the outside part of the plate. One ball and 2 strikes. It remains 1-2. Bonifacio fouls it back. There have been 3 no-hitters in baseball this year. Of course, Josh Beckett threw a no-hitter against the Phillies. Who could forget that? Clayton Kershaw and Tim Lincecum no-hit the Padres for the 2nd time in his career.
It's funny listening to all the fans hoop and holler right now about the no-hitter. Trying to jinx him.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Fastball just a bit high. It's 2-2. $34,000 plus here today. They were given the Bobby Cox bobbleheads as they came through the gates. Bonifacio's fighting here. It remains 2-2 as he fouls off a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Swing and a miss. He got him. 98 on that fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Giles. 11 Ks today for Phillies pitching. Now there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. He just overpowered Bonifacio on that last one.
He did, and Bonifacio fouled a few pitches off, but this was just perfect location on the corner at 98 miles an hour. Not much you can do right there, but take a seat.
Freddie Freeman has walked twice. He has struck out. He's 0 for 1. Ground ball foul. No balls in 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got it with a slider. Kenny Giles has just struck out the side here in the 8th inning. 12 strikeouts overall for Phillies pitching, and the combined no-hitter is still intact as we go to the 9th inning. Man, this is flat out dealing by Kenny Giles to wrap up Freddie Freeman. That's not necessarily the story right now. Yes, they have the lead, but the Braves do not have a hit through 8 innings. It's time for our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Matt, this gave the Phillies the breathing room in the 7th inning they have right now.
Yeah, came on a curveball. The bases loaded. Ben Rivera hits a line drive right center. Clears the bases. Brown, Ashley, and Sizemore score on Rivera's 7th triple of the year. Open up the door right there and give the boys some breathing room. That is your delivery of the game, brought to you by W.B. Mason.
All right, so now the Phillies will get a chance to bat here in the top of the 9th inning. They have 5 runs on 5 base hits. Now the new pitcher is the right-hander Juan Jaime, 26-year-old right-hander. And he will face Carlos Ruiz to start this off. It'll be Ruiz, Ashe, and then the pitcher's spot. Here in the top of the 9th inning. Carlos today is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He's flied out. First pitch fastball. It's 0-1. Ball and 1 strike.
You know, the Braves pitchers have not pitched well that bad today. I mean, the costly error at shortstop, 300 runs. But besides that, I mean, 5 hits.
Yeah, 5 hits, the 5 runs, 2 earns, 4 walks by Tehran. Tehran, 2 of those walks were intentional walks. It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Carlos Ruiz. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Carlos stays alive. He gets that one off the end of the bat. There is Papelbon in the bullpen. A 1-2-3 inning for Jake Diekman, 2 strikeouts. A 1-2-3 inning for Giles, 3 strikeouts. It remains 2-2 to Ruiz. That foul ball hit off the front of the upper deck and then came bouncing down into the lower level. Somebody finally came up with it after a bounce or 2. And Ruiz is hit by a pitch. Carlos just couldn't get out of the way of that one. It just kept on coming in. So he's aboard to begin the 9th inning. Carlos has been hit by 12 pitches this year. Diekman still sitting in the dugout watching after his 7th inning. Cole Hamels, 6 no-hit innings, still sitting in the dugout watching. Pesci takes low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Ken Giles is going to hang around too. Darren Ruff's out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit for him. Outside and high, 2-0. Jaime had 18 saves down in AAA. Made his major league debut on the 20th of June. He rejoined the team today with the rosters expanding. And it's now 3-0 to Cody Ashe. And ball 4. So a hit batter and a walk, and the Phillies have runners on first and second. And here comes Darren Ruff to bat. Ruff hasn't played a whole lot recently. Haven't been any lefties that have been starting against the Phils. So he'll pinch hit for the pitcher spot. Those are his numbers as a pinch hitter this year. 1 for 11, 091. For the season, he's hitting .264. Inside, 1-0.
Well, this is a situation here where you'd like to see what Darren can do in these situations with pinch hitting. You're trying to, as the season goes, you're trying to see where these players fit in the future coming up. And if Darren can have a good at bat here, pinch hitting versus a right-hander, it's a bonus for the Phillies for the future. Not saying that he won't get an opportunity to play every day somewhere.
Right.
But
and each time he gets a chance to bat against a right-hander, I think it helps his cause overall if he can do something against him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouls it back. It's 1-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, says Jerry Meals. A strikeout of Ruff. And there's the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. Revere had a 3-run triple his last time up. He has a career high 4 RBIs here this afternoon. 1 for 2, a sac fly, a sacrifice bunt. Grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. And he slaps that first pitch foul. It's 0-1. And a line drive towards center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Around third, heading for home is Ruiz. 5 RBIs for Ben Revere. It's 6-0 Phillies. Ben Revere has a third of his season RBIs coming into today's ball game. Today, he's got 5. He has 20 RBIs overall.
Well, he's had a good game overall with a sac bunt, 3-run RBI triple, other RBI single. And what I like is that he's staying left center, right center on both of his hits. We're in New York. He was hooking and hitting everything to second base. So
now Rollins is up. So he has 5 RBIs, a quarter of his season total today. 15 coming in. 1 ball and no strikes to Rollins. And Rollins hits it off the end of the bat foul. It's 1-1. Galvis is out in the on deck circle to pinch hit for Chase Utley. Fly ball right center field. It's not deep. Hayward shading his eyes from the sun, and he missed it. It went off the heel of his glove. Ashe will be held at third. Boy, he was fighting the sun the entire time. He used his throwing hand. And I believe they're going to score that a base hit for Rollins, so he's got a double, a triple, and a single today. Now the bases are loaded.
I mean, this is a tough play for any outfielder. I mean, he has the hand in front of the sun. The only thing, well, right there, he loses it. The only thing you can try to do different is turn your body. Right there, he's walking, he's running that way. Turn your body a little bit and use your glove, because eventually it's going to have to come out of the sun. Well, you hope.
Yeah, it just he was looking for a little spot to try to see the ball. So here's Galvis to pinch hit. He'll take high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So the bases are loaded. Galvis floats it foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. See Freddie's numbers as a pinch hitter for his career. His average is under 100 for the season. He's 4 for 47. Outside, and it's 2-1.
But Freddie's had some better at bats since he's been called back up from AAA. He worked on some stuff, quieted down a little bit, seen the ball well.
Just out in front of that pitch right there was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It just broke down.
I don't think he saw that pitch very well.
Almost like he had a changeup swing there.
And what do we call the changeup swing? Underwater swing.
Underwater. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 95 in the fastball. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Jaime. Now the bases remain loaded, and Ryan Howard will be the hitter. Howard has struck out twice. He's grounded out twice. Kid's got a good live fastball. That one was at 97, but it's a 27 pitch inning. That's included a hit by pitch, a walk, and a couple singles. No balls and 1 strike to Ryan. Inside, 1-1. Check swing, and 2-2. Two pitch to Howard. Up and in, 3-2. So the runners will be off here in the top of the 9th inning. Phillies have a run in. They lead it 6-0. Their success here in Atlanta is a storyline. There's no doubt about it. And their continued success here today. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fouled it away again. Runners go. Outside, ball 4. That'll force it a run as Ashe will cross the plate. 7-0 Phillies. And Freddie Gonzalez is going to go to the bullpen one more time. Second walk of the inning for Jaime. That's RBI 87 for Ryan Howard. So another pitching change for the Braves. The Phillies now have sent 8 men to the plate. As Marlon Byrd will get a chance to bat. A couple runs have scored. We'll be back with the next Atlanta Braves pitcher right after this. Down today's opener of this 3-game series between the Phils and the Atlanta Braves. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. Lots to talk about today. Phillies lead at 7-0. Marlon Byrd will be the batter against James Russell, who the Braves acquired from the Chicago Cubs. And Byrd swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. It's 0-1. Get Ben's take on what Hamels did today. 6 no-hit innings. And hopefully a lot more to talk about. Russell's numbers: 57 games, 0-2, a 3.20 ERA, 31 strikeouts in 45 innings of work. Phillies have scored 2 runs in this inning. And now it's 0-2 to Byrd. Swing and a miss. Byrd is struck out. The Phillies leave him loaded but get 2. And the next piece of the storyline is upon us. The Phillies lead at 7-0. The Braves, though, have not managed to hit against Cole Hamels, Jake Diekman, and Kenny Giles. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning with everybody in the dugout sitting and watching, and Ryan Sandberg making some adjustments to his defensive alignment. Freddie Galvis will stay in the ball game to play second base for the Phillies. Darren Ruff will come into the ball game to play first base for the Phils. So he's in for Ryan Howard. And then Jonathan Papelbon will come in out of the bullpen to try to preserve a combined no-hitter. The first 8 innings, Hamels 6 innings. He left after 108 pitches. Jake Diekman pitched a scoreless 7th inning. And then Kenny Giles blazed through a scoreless 8th inning. The Phillies have never had a combined no-hitter in their history. There was a point some years back when they were on the cusp of it. That was back in 1994. David West was taken out after 6 no-hit innings. But Steve Findlay led off the 9th inning with Roy Halladay. This is the 9th inning. Victorino takes care of the first out. The second out, Halladay takes care of all by himself. And then the final out, Ronnie Paulino rolls over on one. Castro at third base makes the play. And Roy Halladay had the first of his 2 no-hitters in 2010. That the perfect game. And here they are, the no-hitters for the Phillies, including Halladay's postseason no-hitter. There have been 11 no-hitters in Phillies history. All right, Murph, what's going on down in the dugout and the atmosphere going on in the Phillies dugout?
You know, it's relatively calm. It's relatively quiet. Not a whole lot of guys talking to one another at this point. But the cool thing is that everybody is in that dugout. You know, at this time of the day, if you've already pitched in the game, most of the time you're back in the clubhouse. So that would be Cole and Diekman and Kenny. They're all out here. You know, almost all of the clubhouse personnel also out in the dugout to get it in hopes to see a little bit of history. So it's the guys are reserved. They're not. It doesn't look like they're talking about it all that much. But they know that something special is happening, and they're hoping for 3 more outs. All
right, well, Jose Constanza will lead off. Now, he can bunt with the best of them. He takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. So just to recap the defensive alignment, Ruff is at first base and Galvis is at second base. Joining Rollins and Ashe on the infield. Brown, Revere, and Byrd in the outfield. The 1-0 pitch from Papelbon. On the outside corner, it's 1-1. Matt, 12 combined strikeouts today for Phillies pitching. 7 of the last 9 out strikeouts, 8 of the last 11 out strikeouts. Out toward left field, Dominic Brown dances toward the line, makes the catch, and the Phillies are 2 outs away.
Well, I was really impressed with Giles coming in the 8th inning. The command he had on the slider, the fastball up in the zone, and really just, Freddie Freeman had no chance with that fastball and 2 sliders through
I
really
agree.
well.
Folks who have never seen Kenny Giles wonder about that fastball. It's all they heard about, but it's the slider too. Here's Chris Johnson. He's 0 for 3. First pitch on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Broken back ground ball over the mound. Rollins near the bag. He has it and time. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Beautiful pitch by Papelbon to break that bat. "32 batters today for the Atlanta Braves. Their base runners have been 5 walks and 1 hit batter. And Phil Gosselin will bat for the 4th time. He's been hit by a pitch. He's flied out and popped out. 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Papelbon is ready in the pitch. Down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. I have to think that there's some butterflies even in the guts of the players, in particular Papelbon, who's usually so cool. Here's the 1-0. In there. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. That fastball at 88 miles an hour. One ball and 2 strikes. So we're down to the final strike and the final out on this Labor Day 2014. Cole Hamels, Jake Diekman, Ken Giles, and now Jonathan Papelbon trying to combine for a no-hitter. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Phil Gosselin in the pitch. Out toward the right side, caught by Darren Rupp, and the Phillies have recorded their 12th no-hitter in franchise history. It's the first ever combined no-hitter by the Phillies. And one of the highlights of the season and the celebration on the mound.
So I guess the next question is, who do you hug first? Hamels, Diekman, Giles,
I think
Papelbon?
It's a collective hug, Matt. It's a collective hug. The entire team out on the mound, and now the coaches venture out. What a great way to celebrate. Cole Hamels, Jake Diekman, Kenny Giles, and Jonathan Papelbon combine to throw a no-hitter here this afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia. The Phillies win it 7-0. You never know what you're going to see when you come to a ball game. Well, here's the final out.
It's the lazy line drive to first base. And here's the reaction right here. Same as like every game. He saves.